What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Luke. In this episode, we'll be talking about Darcy Moore, the 48th captain of the Collingwood Football Club. Let's get into it. Yesterday, after months of speculation and kind of months of us really knowing that it would be Darcy Moore, Collingwood came out and said Darcy Moore would be the 48th captain of the Collingwood Football Club, following on from his dad Peter Moore's footsteps back in the 80s when he also led Collingwood as captain. The change of captain comes 9 years, of course, after Scott Pendlebury made his debut as captain back in 2014, which was the year that Darcy Moore got drafted as well, back in 2014. So, I don't know, it's a little bit poetic in a sense as well, which is really cool. In that year, 2014, when Darcy Moore did get drafted to Collingwood, Darcy Moore also captained the Oakleigh Chargers to a premiership, which is, again, so bloody poetic. Darcy Moore debuted in 2015 as a forward. In his third game, he kicked 5 goals against the Bulldogs. He'd go on to play, a few more seasons, but, of course, hampered by a bunch of injury. Missed that, I think it was that whole 2018 season where we made the grand final. If we hadn't, we may have won that grand final, but he went to Germany. Him and Jamie Elliott went to Germany. Dr. Hans something from Bayern Munich as the hamstring specialist, and touch every single bit of wood I have in this room. Everything has gone right so far, and he goes on to represent Victoria in the State of Origin in 2020, and All-Australian Blazer in 2020 as well, now captain of the Pies. So my thoughts on this was that I really wanted Darcy Moore, and if you see it on my Instagram story or on Twitter as well, I pretty much predicted it back in 2020. I manifested this, but I thought that we might have an interim sort of captain a la Scott Burns after Nathan Buckley left. So back in 2008, Scott Burns captained the club for a year, then it obviously went to Nick Maxwell in 2009. I thought maybe that's what they were thinking of doing, maybe giving it to a Jeremy Howe for a year, still Sidebottom for a year. But I think the appointment of Darcy Moore, and not even Darcy Moore with a co-captain, I think the appointment of Darcy Moore says a lot about his leadership, how the guys back him as well. And we've seen over the last couple of years the player that he can be, a generational talent. And, he might not be a vocal leader like Taylor Adams on the field or like Scott Pendlebury, but Darcy Moore, I feel, is a new age leader for a new age of Australian rules of football and a new era for the club. He's going to propel us, hopefully, potentially to a 16th premiership, but even further than that. What he does off the field, what he does on the field, very intelligent guy. Thinking, he's a world thinker as well, kind of like what Brodie Grundy, kind of like Jordan Roughhead as well. And that's what I love about him. He's the sort of guy that will inspire generations to come. I'm not saying that Scott Pendlebury didn't do that. Scott Pendlebury, has been an amazing captain Collingwood for 200 plus games. So I think Darcy Moore is going to get to 200 plus games as captain. Probably not. I think Nick Dacos might be the next captain of Collingwood, but that's not for this video. There has been just an outpouring of positivity around Darcy Moore's appointment, not only from Collingwood or the media, just from supporters, even supporters of other clubs I've been seeing. So I think it's just this Collingwood team now, what we did last season with not even Fly's style, but not even his team. Now this is literally Fly's pies now, right? Darcy Moore as new captain. We've got, Jeff Brown as the president, new CEO in Craig Kelly, another Collingwood royalty. Everything outside of the football at the moment, games, and because the season hasn't started, is starting to line up. The Magpies are lining up. And, I always say, I've been tweeting about it and putting it on Instagram every few months. Floria Pika is Collingwood's sort of logo, may the Magpie prosper. I've been saying Pika resurgit, which means the Magpie will rise. And I feel like this is the time where we rise to the occasion. We were 1 point off the grand final. The Moore appointment, I really do feel, will take us to a 16th premiership. That might be this year. It might be next year. Maybe I'm I'm really excited. We don't have a ceiling at the moment. That's the beauty about the Collingwood Football Club right now. We don't have a ceiling. This year, 2023, could be absolutely anything. Let's make it a good one. Let's give Darcy Moore an amazing first year as captain. In saying all that, the guys following Darcy Moore's captaincy as vice captain is Jeremy Howe after a couple of years in there, Taylor Adams as well after a few years in the leadership group, and joining them for the first time in the leadership group, Braden Maynard. There was a lot of people that were saying Braden Maynard should be the next captain. He wanted to be captain. Vice captain, amazing. As vice captain, that's amazing. I was hearing as well that Jeremy Howe came second in the votes to Darcy Moore, so you can see how highly everyone at the Pies sees Jeremy Howe as a leader. So having those teams, those four guys as the leadership group, without Scott Pendlebury, so Scott Pendlebury has got that weight off his shoulders. He can play his best football probably off the half-back line this season. Yeah, those four guys are going to take us to a 16th flag. Let me know your thoughts down below. Did you love the Darcy Moore appointment? Did you want to see another player? You know, was it Howe? Was it Maynard? Was it someone completely different? Leave all your thoughts down below. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers. I'll see you later.